Hello YouTube. Alright, so last video I covered how to get some horizontal collision detection in your game, and also very briefly how to get some animations. So I'm just going to review that because I got cut off last time. So animations, basically you can set your sprite by setting the sprite index variable, and remember to assign a value to a variable. You can always just use the equals. I covered how to mirror your sprite, which is by setting your image X scale to 1 or -1. Important side note: this only works if you have your object's origin, or at least its X origin, at its center. And if you wanted to mirror vertically, then you would want to have its Y origin at the center. Because it basically reflects over the origin. So if I wanted to mirror one of my blocks, it would basically just flip over. It'd flip over its axis, its far left axis, its far left edge. So it would look pretty awkward. But if you have a centered origin, then it's all okay just to do this. Okay. So another thing I got cut off on last time is I covered h-speed. H-speed is basically the exact same thing as v-speed, except for it's x instead of y. And I basically changed this to be 2 and -2, instead of just adding x and adding y, and instead of adding x and subtracting x, I mean. And if we just run this right now, it'll work exactly the same way. So I just wanted to cover that. You may notice, actually I just realized that it does not work the exact same way, because there's nothing to set the h-speed to 0 yet. But as you may notice, I've sort of changed up the room layout. It's a little bit larger and a little more organized. And yeah, my script has completely failed me. So I realized that I completely just lied to you. So I need to set my h-speed to 0 here, which is an important side note. And then also, when you're not pressing one of the movement keys, you should also set your h-speed to 0. So that I won't be sliding all around. Because previously I could just tap the left arrow key and I just keep going left. But now, as you can see, I just go, and I can just go like that. And as you can see, I slide smoothly down the walls now, and it's all nice. And I don't get stuck in blocks or anything. And it's all good. So, alright, so I've just sort of basically amended the level layout, so it's a little larger. And that is not supposed to happen. Yeah, that is not good. Alright, so there are a couple bugs, and basically this video, I'm going to be debugging this program, because there are some serious problems with it, as you just observed. And then I'm also going to add a bit of smoother horizontal movement. So, first off, the bugs, real quick. So I've made some mistakes. First of all, your hitbox for jumping, it only really matters the bottom side of your sprite. So I should probably get rid of this y-8 up here that would register when you touch the top. When you touch the top of the hitbox. Second of all, I should add another collision. So if collision rectangle, and I'll just set this to x-4, and I'll set this to y-8 plus v-speed, because this is going to be a vertical edge collision, basically. And then I'll set x+4, y. I think I'll just leave that at y. So I'll just say wall parent 1, 1. And then what this will do is it'll set your v-speed to 0, and I'll set y equals y previous. So this will do is basically this is just a vertical collision. So when you jump up into a block, this will make it so you hit your head on it, so that you can't just like warp through blocks. So as you can see, I can try to jump up there. I can go to the edge of this block and I can't jump through it. I can just sort of, as you can see, I'm getting stuck on some of these because I can't just warp through them. So yeah, this is that. So that's that. So that's that bug fixed. Sorry for stuttering a little bit there. So yeah, so that's basically, I've just sort of done a little bit of debugging. And it functions right now. Something I've noticed is that in the last couple of videos I have not been putting the application and the code up for download, and this is because it hasn't really been playable yet, and there's so many bugs. So I'm just going to so after this episode, I'm just going to put up the program that you can run and play around with, and yeah, so that'll be what you can do next video. Alright, so there's one last thing that I want to do this video. I want to keep an eye on the time since I keep running out of time, which is basically smoother horizontal movement. So currently you just press the key and you just move and you just go at a set speed. So what I want to do is I will set hspeed plus equals 0.1 and hspeed minus equals 0.1. And then in this, instead of setting hspeed to 0, I'll set hspeed times equals 0.9. Or basically, hspeed is being basically every step hspeed equals 9/10 of the previous hspeed. So basically I'll show you what this looks like. So now when I press the arrow key, I accelerate because my hspeed is being added to rather than just being set equal to a value. And I still collide. Because as I collide properly, and as you can see, when I release it, I have this nice little friction slidey effect, and this is because of the times equals 0.9. Because basically what's happening is basically what's happening is that if my hspeed equals 0.9 equals basically 90% of its previous value, it's going to slowly decelerate and get less and less and less until it practically equals 0. So you can see it basically. I just come to a stop, and you could basically. Oh, I just got stuck in a block because I was going too fast. And there's a way to fix that. But basically, what you could do is, if you want there to be more friction, you could make this less, so that like setting it to 0.8 basically means your hspeed equals 80% of the previous hspeed. So this will make it decelerate faster. And if you wanted it to be really slidey, you could set it to 0.95 or like 95%. So that basically the larger the number, the larger the decimal, the slower it'll go, and the lesser the decimal, the faster it'll slow down. And above 1, basically, like it needs to be less than 1, otherwise it just won't decelerate. If it was above 1, then it would just accelerate. So there's one other thing which I want to do. So I've just increased the friction a little bit because I noticed I was sliding around a little bit too much for my liking. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a maximum speed. So basically what this is going to be is and I need to set this to a greater than. But basically what this is doing is it's setting if hspeed goes over 3, then it sets hspeed back to 3. So this is just, I've made it the maximum speed equals is 3. And of course, to make it work the same for the negative direction or left, you just want to do the same thing with basically the opposites. So if hspeed is less than -3, then it's set back to -3. And you could just set these to whatever you want. So if it was 4 for both of these, then your max speed would be basically 4. I'm just going to leave it at 3 for now because I think that's a decent balance of fast and controllable. So yeah, I'm running out of time, kinda. But basically, I've covered pretty much everything I want to show in the video today. So if I just hold down this is my new maximum speed right here, and I can still jump as always. So yeah, I basically just smoothened the controls a little this time, and yeah, so that's pretty much all for today, YouTube. So just to review, since I've got some time left, you can use the hspeed variable for your speed horizontally, which is, of course, it's like hspeed, horizontal speed. By adding to it is accelerating, and you can add or subtract to it to accelerate in right or left, respectively. You can multiply it by a decimal to get it to slow down nice and smooth, and you can set a maximum speed like this. So if it's greater than a certain value, then you set it back to that value. And of course, I did some basic debugging, which I think I explained pretty thoroughly in its own regard. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just gonna save real quick, and I'm going to put up a download link for the exe and code file for this. But yeah, so that's all for this video. See you next time, YouTube.